start breaking it down, how to recognize spirits, how to attack spirits. And guess what, folks? When you operate like this, you're free. You're free to serve the living God with an undefiled temple. Let's go. The healing spirit. The healing spirit. Now, I'm going to talk about a few things, then I'm going to go straight into healing, because brothers and sisters, what you have to realize, that when it comes to sickness, it's due to a plethora of scenarios. It's not just physical. Sicknesses are usually developed by behavior, by sin, by holding things in, by hurting other people, by being divisive. All that shows up in our body. It compartmentalizes and it becomes a demon that takes hold to a certain part of our body. And it becomes a physical sickness. Usually when you see a physical sickness, it's a side effect of emotional trauma, of sinful behavior. We must, as a people, take the steps that leads to healing, or the sicknesses will continue. We can't allow things that are harming to continue, because they're showing up in other aspects, sicknesses, death, all of that. Because there's many things we haven't done or touched on. Okay, so we have to touch on that, because the sickness starts by harming others, and eventually through that it leads a curse, a generational curse, where sicknesses is running rampant throughout our nation and no one is saying anything about it. That if you can overcome your sickness, which is the demon that came in, you're cured of the ailment that came with the demon. Usually the demon or the sickness is attached to a separate spirit that has nothing to do with you. It's all about control, folks. This is why they want the earth sick. It's the easiest way to control people. Mind, body, and spirit. You must understand it's not separated. When you get a sickness, don't believe that some individual, something physical happened to you. It's a byproduct of a lifestyle of sin. First of all, we need to show you the origin of demons. Where did they come from? Let's go to the book of Enoch now. The book of Enoch, the 15th chapter.
Book of Enoch, chapter 15, verse number 1.
Yeah.
And he answered and said unto me, and I heard his voice, Fear not, Enoch, thou righteous man and scribe of righteousness, approach hither and hear my voice. Go say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent thee to intercede for them. You should not intercede for men, or you should intercede for men, and not men for you. Wherefore have ye left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and lain with women, and defile yourselves with the daughters of men, and taken to yourselves wives, and done like the children of earth, and begotten giants as your sons.
Come on.
And though you are holy, spiritual, living the eternal life, ye have defiled yourselves with the blood of women, and have begotten children with the blood of flesh, and as the children of men have lusted after flesh, as those also who do die and perish.
So now it's judging the angels who came down and disobeyed the orders of the Almighty, who became judges in the earth and began to deal with the daughters of Adam and brought forth giants or Nephilim. A direct precept to Genesis 6 and 4, where it said there was giants in the earth in those days, Nephilim. These are the seeds of Satan that would always attack the righteous in the earth. And one of their key weapons is what? Sicknesses. We're going to prove this.
sir. Jumping down to verse 9. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies.
So what happened was the Most High proclaimed that war would break out in the earth. This happened right before the flood, the clash of the Titans. And because there is no place to hold these spirits, because the Most High didn't create them, they were created on earth. So the bosom of Abraham couldn't hold them. So the Most High said, what are we going to do with these spirits that were produced through disobedience? Read.
Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies.
From their bodies.
Because they are born from men and from the holy watchers.
They were born from the celestial and terrestrial. Nephilim. Read.
And from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin.
Come on. And when it says holy watchers, because where? Their habitation was the heavens, like the book of Jude states. They were watchers. They were supposed to watch man and report back to God. And they stayed in the earth. Read.
It says, from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin.
That's their primal origin. Read.
They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. And evil spirits shall their name be called. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born upon the earth, on earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth.
And work destruction on the earth, read.
And cause trouble.
And cause trouble.
They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst.
They take no food, nevertheless they hunger and thirst. When the heavens are watching this, they're seeing what we would call demonic attacks. You might think of a situation where someone offended you and it led to this. So if you see people riffing, fighting, harming others, talking about each other, straight hating and going against each other to the point of war, that's the spirit of Nephilim. They're highlighting the demons that were destroyed before the flood. These are spirits. This is who you can highlight. Who has spirits on them. And they get mad when you highlight. I want to eat your soul. Now the demon comes out the whole time. I want to baptize you in the spirit of the Almighty. They all that person. And then once you reveal it, the horns hit the cylinder. I'll eat your soul. The real demon comes out. They attack through battle. See, and this is why the Pharisees and scribes and others hated Christ. They hated the disciples because the spirit of truth would pierce through their facade of righteousness. And they couldn't hide behind their nice garments and all that, because Christ would hit right into the soul, the bone, the marrow, and get right through their fringes and garments and pierce their souls and rip that demon and say, listen, I'm not even dealing with you, Pharisee. I'm talking to the demon who's controlling you. Because Christ was straightforward. He wasn't working in the dark. He spoke truth. When he seen it, he spoke against it. And guess what? In this politically correct world, don't say nothing. When Christ is trying to heal us from the demon, the real sickness happened before the physical ailment. And Christ was trying to rip that demon out of us first so that we'll be healed and have a better quality of life. But people can't be honest with you. So if no one can be honest with you to identify the demon, how can we as a people be healed? It makes it where you're alone on purpose, because being alone means that you're with him. You're with that. So anyone that try to help you, you attack it and you're going against it because you don't want a critical analysis concerning how you're operating. You don't want no critique. You don't want anyone, highlighting certain things. Why? Because you know what the person is saying is true. Why can't you accept it? It's not you because you know it's true. It's the demon who's being identified that would say, get away from that person. Get away, get away. If you don't get him away, he's going to get me. He's going to get him. Christ may be in him. Understand when someone is criticizing, they're not attacking you. They're going against the demon in you. Now, there's just some mean people out there. I'm not talking about that. You know who I'm talking about. These are people who care about you. So Satan would set up a politically correct world in which no one can be corrected so that the demons can lie dormant in our bodies to cause death. This dishonesty is showing up as sicknesses. And no one is tying two and two together. That's what Christ and the disciples were showing people, how to defeat the spirits to have a better quality of life. Identify what cancer is, what this is, what that is. They've given you all these names, but guess what? The origin is the demon. Some of the emotions, some of these come from what? You got it. Bad choices. And I regret for those bad choices. When Christ says, listen, put that down. Don't worry about the past. I'll baptize you. I'll cleanse you of your former sins. Be new. When you look back at our bad choices, there's nothing back there good. It's only regret. So Christ gave us a way out so that we don't keep on looking into our mistakes all the time. That's why Christ did it. So you can't deal with the regret anymore of the choices I could have made, and this is why none of us can go back and change yesterday. None of us. So Christ gave us a way out so that we don't regret our lives and say, okay, so what now can I do with this new lease on life that was given to me through Christ? So sometimes you have to take all that stuff off and look in the mirror and say, you know what? This was produced through the old man. I'm getting rid of this demon. If Christ can forgive me for all the things I've done in the past, I can at least present my temple correctly and get my temple together by first ridding that demon of regret. That demon of me attacking other people, being short, not being able to smile, not being happy. That's not you. That's a demon which produces sickness. When you're hard all the time and you're always mad all the time, it shows. And guess what? Because what's on the outside, what you're showing, is attacking on the inside. So I make it my job that I don't care what, nothing is going to make me unhappy because I know the end result. I know the side effects of unhappiness. It gets in your mind, and that's so you're eating, you're eating too much, and you're doing all this, and the demon's like, okay, yeah, eat. Because eat, why? Because you need to sleep to recover. And while you're doing all that sleeping, nothing is getting done. So the clear sign of a demon is when someone overeats or become obese or overweight. That's a physical sign that there's a demon there. It's not attacking the person and fat shaming the person. They put it out there so that the demon can continue to use that body until it's unhealthy or unuseful for the person. If someone is overeating, they'll tell you right now, well, I do overeat because I eat away my problems. Because when I get nervous, I eat. When I have emotional issues, I eat. Well, if you did what? If you cured the emotional side, you wouldn't feed the beast. See? By feeding the beast, you're taking in all of this junk, and all the fat and all this stuff is turning into what? Sicknesses. But the emotional part should have been taken care of first. So these spirits purposely go after men and women. The obesity thing is attacking us. The attitude thing is attacking us. The non-trust thing is attacking us. But none of us understand the origin of it. None of us understand it, and that's why it's a perpetual curse, especially for the people whom the curse fell on for disobedience. We're disproportionately affected by these spirits. See, and that's why Christ said, listen, in order for you to be healed, you're going to have to be straight up with one another. You have to be straight up. No more politically correctness crap anymore. Christ said, listen, if you got a problem with your brother, you go to him and your brother alone if he offended you. And if he heard you, you have gained a brother. That means you have to tell that person what they did wrong and what you're doing. You're not going against the person. You are highlighting the demon that was that's attacking you, and that same demon that came before the flood. You're identifying the issue of the attack, highlighting the demon, and with that person saying, you know what? I am sorry for doing that. That's not me. I was wrong for doing that. Now the demon knows it has no stronghold and must find someone else. Because if you allow the demon to stay in you, it will attack you. And guess what? At the end of your life, guess what? It will have you die alone and then leave and find someone else. That's why it tries to separate you from everyone else so it can have you for himself. We're breaking it down, how to recognize spirits, how to attack spirits. And guess what, folks? When you operate like this, you're free. You're free to serve the living God with an undefiled temple.